Hey, Wembuck World Entertainment, and Alex Kurtzman is out here now trying to fluff his future with Star Trek. Now, we all pretty much know he's done. There seems to be absolutely zero movement on continuing with his vision for Star Trek. There's no indication that they're going to hand him new movies and stuff like that. There's not even conversations happening that his contract is being renewed. And his contract runs out this year. But now he's trying to say, oh yeah, we've sat down and Skydance are super happy with us and stuff like this. And he says something about what he thinks the future could be. He doesn't want to go too far into it, which he says is because, there's so many things up in the air, blah, blah, blah. But he says the future for new Star Trek TV and the stuff they already have. You just had everything you had cancelled. So that should tell you everything you need to know. But let's have a look at this anyway. And this article is a bit of a fluff piece as well, trying to say how fantastic new Trek has been. So it's saying, oh, by the way, this seems to be one of the only articles I've seen so far that doesn't bring up the Rotten Tomatoes score. Because every single article has brought up the Rotten Tomatoes score, and this one actually doesn't. But it says, while the Star Trek franchise has found success on television in recent years, it's currently in something of a transitional period. Number one, what's success on television? Because it's not on television. It's on a streaming platform. That can't be classed really as television. So it's behind a paywall, and no, it hasn't been successful. They keep saying it's successful because, well, they kept getting new seasons. Because Kurtzman kept renewing his own shit. That's the only reason. But it says anyway, despite moving on from the new Trek streaming era to a shift in focus to theatrical titles, it looked like Starfleet Academy might be an indication of what's next, until it was cancelled after 2 seasons. Strange New Worlds will end after season 5, and the Star Trek 4 movie starring Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto and Zoe Saldana has finally been abandoned. I don't know why they say that's finally been abandoned. It was never happening. Every time they announced it, the first thing that would happen is they'd ask the cast and they said, it's the first we've ever heard of it. I don't have any contract for a new movie. So a Starfleet origin movie from Seth Grahame-Smith and Toby Hines was first mentioned in 2024. But more recently, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly were tapped to helm a big screen reboot. That's reboot altogether for Star Trek. Here's the thing though, regarding that movie, there is meant to be 2 movies now in the work. There's this one and something else. But word from within Paramount is they know they want to do something with Star Trek. They haven't a clue what they want to do with it, which is weird. So much of the uncertainty surrounding Star Trek has been blamed on Skydance's acquisition of Paramount Pictures last summer. Now, with the company setting its sights on a $110 billion purchase of Warner Bros. Discovery, will the long-running sci-fi series be lost in the shuffle? Alex Kurtzman has been overseeing Star Trek on TV, but his contract with CBS Studios and Paramount ends this year. In a recent interview with Trek Movie, the filmmaker shared what he knows about the Trekdom's future. I'd just like to swing back here where they're saying, because Skydance bought Paramount, that's putting all this pressure on the uncertainty surrounding Star Trek. That's where that blame is coming in and stuff like that. How exactly do they figure that when one of the first things David Ellison said was he wanted big tentpole franchises, and Star Trek was one of the first things he mentioned. So he knew right away that they wanted to make Star Trek again. Put it on the big screen, put it on the small screen, everything like that. The only thing that they weren't certain about is who was going to oversee it. And clearly, that's not Kurtzman. But here is what Kurtzman has said. So, again, wait till you hear this. So he says, what I can tell you, honestly, is that it's not just what does Skydance want with Star Trek TV. Skydance also just bought Warner Brothers, and so you have an unbelievable amount. Like, It's almost an inconceivable amount of organizational things to decide, right? They are in the middle of. It's not just drinking from one fire hose. There's probably 10,000 hoses. And so everything is just happening slower as a result of this massive time of transition. And that is not exclusive to Star Trek. That's across the board. And at the same time, they're moving as quickly as they can and should, because they want to be thoughtful and methodical. I love that he's trying to say, because they're now buying Warner Brothers, blah blah blah, it's slowed everything down and stuff. Your contract is up. That you think would be a priority if they were looking to keep you on board, but they didn't. But more importantly, why then are they able to get all of these other shows up and running immediately, like Tulsa King and stuff like that? There is no real thing of it's going really slow and stuff, so that's crap. So despite making plans to move on from Star Trek's lengthy stint as a streaming property, Paramount Skydance clearly values what Kurtzman has done in recent years. He confirmed, this is the part I love, they're saying Paramount values what Alex Kurtzman has done. Where does this come from? Does it come from Skydance? Does it come from Paramount? No, it comes directly from Alex Kurtzman has said it. So this is what he says. Yes, I've had conversations with them about the future of Star Trek. Yes, we've gotten nothing but support. Yes, there have been specific shows that have been discussed, and we'll see. I'm truly at the beginning of the conversation with them now, and so I hesitate to say anything to you because I don't have anything to report yet, but I can report that the conversations are happening. Kurtzman later said that those will be new shows as well as the shows we already have, though something has clearly changed since this conversation took place because Starfleet Academy is now no more. So this is the thing to keep in mind. I spoke about this in one of my previous videos, is he went in with the pitch for the future of Star Trek on TV. He met with Ellison apparently and stuff, as did Akiva Goldsman and whatever the other guy's name is, something Alonso. They went in to pitch year one. Not just did they come out, and this was a few weeks ago now, not just did they come out with no new contracts, no new shows, no new movies. They did not get year one greenlit. Right after those conversations, they announced that Starfleet Academy was cancelled. So everything there you have to keep in mind. That is them basically saying the conversations did not go well, that it's over. Because if he came out of that saying, oh, we've discussed new shows and what we already have, and then literally a week after these reports, all of a sudden Paramount came out and said, yeah, we've just cancelled Starfleet Academy. That right there should tell you everything you need to know. That they are done. That Paramount is moving on from Kurtzman. They are getting rid of them. They are going to let that contract run out. So all you have coming is 1.5 seasons of Strange New Worlds, which is season 4, and the 6 episodes season 5, which even Akiva Goldsman doesn't refer to it as season 5. He says it's like 4.5, season 4.5. And they got Starfleet Academy cancelled after 2 seasons. So I think it's safe to say the writing is on the wall that they are done. That's it. They are officially going to be out. And good riddance. And good God, if Paramount and Skydance actually had real common sense, not just what they announced that right now, that he is done, that he's not coming back, they should just scrap season 2 of Starfleet Academy. Because it still has to go through post-production, so they still have to edit it and put in the effects and stuff like that. Just scrap it. Take it as a tax loss or something and just get rid of it. But what do you guys think? Do you think Kurtzman will have a future? Or do you think that the writing is absolutely on the wall, that he went, had his meeting with Skydance, and all of a sudden Starfleet Academy got cancelled? Do you think that is the indication that he is done? Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.